Now there's another story coming out of this game, and it is the special whistle, or lack thereof, that A'ja Wilson is getting. And this isn't the first.
When an MVP starts looking more like a sore loser than a leader, you know the pressure is boiling over. Las Vegas Aces star A'ja Wilson reached that boiling point in a heated clash with the up-and-coming Indiana Fever. Frustration spilled over, and Wilson's breaking moment came with a cheap shot at rookie standout Aliyah Boston, a move that instantly set the league buzzing. Fans, players, and analysts aren't just reacting, they're condemning it. What happened to the calm, commanding champion we knew? In that instant, A'ja didn't resemble the face of the league. She looked shaken.
Right here was so egregious, man. I just wanted to point it out. I had to point it out, dog. There was no way, all right, that you can't tell me that the A'ja Wilson whistle isn't a thing. Specific moment, right, where Aliyah Boston was backing down, trying to put the ball back up, and A'ja Wilson gets a jump ball after wrapping her arms clearly around from the back.
To make matters worse, Wilson's struggles come as the Las Vegas Aces stumble while the Fever surge, and they're doing it without injured superstar Caitlin Clark. The contrast couldn't be sharper. Indiana is climbing, Vegas is sliding, and Wilson's outbursts are grabbing headlines for all the wrong reasons. Her frustration is now the story. The Aces are slipping, and the 2025 WNBA narrative is shifting, and not in her favor.
The Aces looking a little long in the tooth there in Vegas. That team, that core, just kind of sputtering at this point in time, slow-footed, and that's where I thought that the Fever could take advantage of the Aces, and they did, and Indiana moved quickly. They moved with purpose. They get another big game from Kelsey Mitchell in this one, who continues to just prove that she is a baller, a hooper, and a bona fide.
The Indiana Fever have owned the Las Vegas Aces lately, a sentence that would have sounded unthinkable just a year ago. But on July 3rd, Indiana demolished the defending champs 81-54, snapping a grueling 16-game skid against Vegas. And this wasn't luck or an off night. It was a statement. The balance of power is shifting, and the Fever are making it clear. The Aces' reign is no longer untouchable.
Boston was just throwing the ball at the basket and hoping for the best, but she locked down A'ja Wilson today. She completely outplayed A'ja Wilson. I don't care what the box score says. She completely outplayed A'ja Wilson. And if she just made a couple of those bunnies, this wouldn't have been a close game.
Just 3 weeks later, on July 24th, the Fever proved it wasn't a fluke. They knocked off the Aces again, 80-70, clinching the season series 2-1, and they did it without their brightest star, Caitlin Clark. Even with A'ja Wilson's best efforts, she poured in 29 points in that first blowout loss. Vegas had no answers. The help simply wasn't there. Her teammates shot an abysmal 16% from the field, and not a single other player cracked more than 6 points.
A Fever without Caitlin Clark go up against the Las Vegas Aces and last year's MVP, A'ja Wilson, and walk away with a W, 80-70. That player right there, Natasha Howard, she came alive in the third quarter, dropping 11 points in the third quarter, giving us the lead, a 27-point third quarter without Caitlin Clark. Who would have thought this team can score over 20 points in a quarter without Caitlin?
Wilson's frustration has been impossible to miss, jawing at officials after nearly every whistle, flashing sarcastic smiles when calls didn't fall her way. At times, she's looked like the star of a one-woman drama, protesting every bump and bruise. But for all the theatrics, the outcome never changed. The Aces kept losing, and her outbursts did nothing to alter the scoreboard or the direction of their season.
The WNBA referees look at A'ja Wilson literally mugging somebody, literally reenacting the now infamous Coldplay concert hug heard around the world that had 9 million memes made about it over the last week, when she's literally remaking that on the court by just mugging Aliyah Boston. Oh shit, them WNBA referees turn into Ray Charles. They swallow their damn whistle.
It's not hard to see why Wilson is on edge. Since drafting her in 2018, the Aces have been the WNBA's gold standard, collecting 2 championships and building a dynasty. A 0-5 stumble out of the gate was already uncharacteristic, but after their latest loss to Indiana, Vegas sat at 12-12, looking up at the Fever's 13-12 record in the standings. That's right, Indiana, A team that hadn't sniffed the playoffs in years until last season is now ahead of the defending champs. Wilson is clearly fed up with her team's form, and as the frustration piles up, it's spilling out in some very ugly ways on the court.
Was terrible. Like, absolutely terrible. I don't care that she had 20 points. The fakest 20 points ever. She was terrible. She was absolutely terrible.
The breaking point came in the July 24th matchup, and it was impossible to miss. Early in the second quarter, Fever center Aliyah Boston battled for position against Aliyah Wilson in the post. Boston was trying to muscle her way to the basket when Wilson came from behind and clamped down on her arms. For nearly 10 seconds, the two wrestled in the paint before a whistle finally blew. But instead of a foul, the referee astonishingly called a jump ball. Boston was irate, immediately turning to the official in protest. "She came from my back." Even the TV broadcast chimed in disbelief. When you get someone from the back, it doesn't usually get you a jump ball. By all appearances, Wilson had mugged Boston and gotten away with it. The grin on Wilson's face after the no call said it all, as if she knew she'd just been handed a gift.
Wilson, she gets the left hand on the ball, right? Slaps down, get her hand on the ball. Okay, cool. Still got it. Now, right here, watch this right hand now. Look at this right hand, y'all. Right hand grabs her, okay? Right hand grabs and she knows she cheated. Look, she's smiling. She knows she cheated, y'all.
Fever fans were livid after the sequence, and they wasted no time calling it out on social media. Many pointed out that Wilson seems to benefit from favorable whistles far too often. She gets away with these fouls all the time, especially against the Fever, one fan noted, pointing out that this wasn't even the first time. Back on July 4th, Wilson had come over Lexi Hull's back on a near-identical play. The call then? Another baffling jump ball. Deja vu. For Indiana's loyal supporters, it's a pattern that can't be ignored. The so-called Aliyah Wilson whistle has even sparked wider debate about inconsistent officiating across the league, a frustration Fever coach Stephanie White herself has publicly voiced this season, and the irony runs deep. In the team's first matchup back in June, Wilson was the one accusing Boston of gamesmanship. Cameras even caught her snapping, flopping, "That's all you do," after Boston's reaction drew a foul on her. Fast forward a month, and it was Wilson dishing out the physical play, essentially body slamming Boston from behind to stop a basket. The tables had turned, and this time, the dirty play came from Aliyah, not Aliyah, and everyone saw it.
Let somebody even breathe on A'ja Wilson. I can't whistle. You get the point. I mean, they're hitting a buzzer. The pressure luck buzzer. The whammy starts coming out. All right, the whammies start coming out because A'ja Wilson going to free throw line. She going to the free throw line. That's all there is.